What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to talk about the Season 6 update, the last and final update that we have in Black Ops 6. If you do find the video informative or helpful at any point, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. So the first thing you need to know is we know that the update is going to be on October 9th. So far, the countdown for the Battle Pass, the timers for the events, they all end on October 9th. Now, the reason why I'm covering it today is because this upcoming week is going to be super hectic for the scheduling of Call of Duty. Starting tomorrow, we have the Black Ops 7 multiplayer reveal, and chances are they're probably also going to drop a blog. Then 2 days after that, on Wednesday, they're going to be dropping the Zombies reveal trailer, and that will also have a very massive blog post to accompany. So there's a chance that maybe later on this week, this upcoming Thursday or Friday, we could see the Haunting trailers, the teasers, the roadmap, because the next upcoming week, which is usually a week before they actually reveal everything, lands on October 2nd, and that's the day that the Black Ops 7 beta starts. And it just wouldn't make sense because everyone's going to be worried about the Black Ops 7 beta and all of the new content instead of being worried about the Haunting update. So it just wouldn't make sense for them to drop it around that time, and they would have to drop it before the beta and maybe even before Call of Duty next as well. So that's the current scheduling that we have right now. Now, the outro cinematic was actually posted by Treyarch just the other day. They have confirmed that the storyline has officially ended with the Season 5 update, and it actually fast forwards you into like 2035 to where they have like a monument for Savati in Avalon, and that's what it's looking like in Showcase, or somewhere in Japan actually, not Avalon, because you also see some Japanese text. And then they go on to continue and say that the story continues in Black Ops 7, so meaning that the Black Ops 6 theme of Season 6 is not going to have anything to do with the story. Some people were saying that maybe it could be a BO7 theme that we're going to get in this update alongside the Haunting. We already know Haunting is officially confirmed, and that's probably going to be the major theme, but it can also be with a little BO7 teasers and things like that to shift us and transition us into the next Call of Duty title. But this is the outro cinematic that they posted. Now, before we jump into everything else, quick word from our sponsor, Mitch Cactus. It's a store that can get you the most exclusive operators, help you unlock the Black Ops 6 Mastery camos such as Dark Matter, Abyss, and Nebula. And if you want to hit Master Prestige even faster, they can also help you out with that. They don't use unlock tools or mods, so you know it's 100% legitimate, and they have over 10,000 verified reviews on Trustpilot. You can use code Chidzo for a 5% discount. The link will be down in the description. So we know that in the Season 6 update, there's a total of 5 brand new operators that are going to be coming in. They have these code names, so Gummy, Peachring, Milk, Caramel, and Dark. And we know because the whole theme of the Season 6 update is going to be Haunting related, chances are these are all the crossover operators. Last year in MW3, we got 5 crossovers, and in MW2, we also got 5 crossovers. And this is how they sort of split them up. Some of them were available as store bundles, some came in as crossovers with current movies and promotions going on at the time, and then one of them came in as a part of the Battle Pass. So you can expect that with the 5 here, one of them is going to be a part of the Battle Pass, which we don't know who that is. They're probably going to be the tier 1, and then they may have another variant for like tier 100. Some people were saying like they want Pennywise added into the game. That's also one of the potential ones that it could be, because we have a code name Peachring. Usually the code names is the first letter for the crossover that we're going to get. So Peachring could potentially be Pennywise. And in terms of the Battle Pass, we can have like the more modern Pennywise version, say in tier 1, and then the classic version in tier 100. That's just an idea. And then there's also other potential operators that could come in based on movies and shows that are currently going on. For example, we have Black Phone 2 that's going to be releasing around the time of this update and during the month of October. And that could also potentially feature that operator. And it could be for the code name Dark, considering it's called Black Phone. And then there's other potential possibilities where there's a new Frankenstein movie that's going to be releasing. They said there's a limited release on October 17th, and then the full release is sometime in November. And similar to how it was with like the Smile crossover, because the movie was releasing at that time during MW3's Haunting event, it could be the same thing this time around. And then you can't forget the Ghosts of Hope tease that Ghostface could potentially be coming back. And then we also have Gummy, so that could be his code name. And I know many of you guys have read the comments, like the majority of top comments, where you wanted to see Ghostface come back into the game. I know that he was previously available in the past before, but I mean, we've seen that happen before. For example, Snoop Dogg has come in like 3 different times, and there was no exception. He was available in the Battle Pass, he was available as a store bundle, and he came in on multiple different occasions, and they could probably do the same thing here with Ghostface. For like the first time ever, the leaks haven't revealed exactly what the crossovers are going to be. So it's going to be a very big surprise when they actually drop the blog and then drop teaser trailers. But I'll leave your guesses down below. There's going to be a total of 5. So you have a high chance of guessing it right. Now, what I'm hoping to see from the actual blog post itself is an update to carry forward. So I'm hoping that they do an exception for the Season 6 Haunting update and actually allow carry forward to come in. So being able to use and take all the skins that you purchased and maybe got in Season 6 exclusively and have those available. So that way you don't have to deal with like Ninja Turtles or anything like that, but at least there's like Ghostface or Pennywise or any of those crossovers that may come in, and I don't think people will be too upset with that. But let me know your thoughts about that down below. Would you like to see carry forward get an exception for Season 6, or should they keep it the way that it is to where nothing carries forward? Other than the operators, there's also going to be the weapons that are going to be coming in with this update. Now, last time around, we ended up getting new code names added to the files during, like, say, the Season 4 Reloaded update. In Season 5 and Season 5 Reloaded, they didn't add any new code names, so that means whatever remaining weapons are in the files are going to be the ones that are most likely going to release, and here's the list of them. So, the first one, we have T10AR, P54 Aspen, potentially the APS underwater rifle. Then we have the Milan, they said it could potentially be the Uzi carbine. Then we have MPUG 40, that's the MP40. We know that one out of like the code names. It's very obvious that's going to be the MP40. Now the problem is we don't know if it's going to release in Season 6 for the reason that it's just such a classic weapon, and because of that fact, maybe they're going to say, you know what, we're not going to release it in BO6, we're going to save it and drop it sometime in BO7, because remember, there's no carry forward. You're not going to be able to use this weapon in BO7 multiplayer anymore, and because of that, they may want to hold off on that and save it and release it maybe like Season 1 or Season 2 of Black Ops 7, because if it does release during the Haunting, you're only going to be able to use it for like a month until we move into BO7, or if you want to just use it in Warzone. So that's the thing about that. Then we have the LMG, which already released. There's something called the Wand, which I'll get back to in just a second. We also have Brass Knuckles. Those didn't release. We saw Adler wearing them during the Season 4 update, but they just never dropped. Season 5 came around, it didn't drop. That's also a potential melee weapon that we can get. The boxing gloves, they already released, and then we also have the chainsaw, and that one, it just makes sense to come in as a melee weapon during the Haunting. I'm like 90% sure this is going to be one of the weapons that we're going to get within this update. We've never gotten an actual chainsaw standalone weapon. We've seen it as an attachment for like an underbarrel. We've seen it as a weapon blueprint for a different melee weapon, for example, like the Doom chainsaw. So this time around, getting an actual chainsaw melee weapon would be pretty good for the Haunting update. So that's what to expect in terms of the weapons. Now, going back to the Wand, it's not going to actually be like a weapon you're going to use in multiplayer, but this is a zombies exclusive field upgrade. So he says right here, it has 5 different barrels. It has ball, burst, AoE, bomb, and beam, and that is pretty much the different field upgrades. So ball is energy mine, burst is frost blast, AoE is ring of fire, bomb is shatter blast, and beam is ether flare. So that's going to be one of the new things that zombies will get in the Season 6 update. But going on to the next thing that we have, for the multiplayer side of things, we can expect that there's going to be some map reskins of existing maps. So for example, Nuketown is going to have like a Halloween theme. More than likely, that's going to be the map that they're going to choose. There's also going to be a bunch of other potential ones. For example, here's some concepts of like, say, Derelict and then Payback and those types of maps getting a spooky makeover, whether maybe they make them night and then they also add some like Halloween decorations all around, add some ghosts, some spooky things like that. Last year, we ended up getting Shipment. It had like 6 different variations that they ended up doing for the multiplayer side of things. So that's something that we can expect this time around. There are original maps and remakes that were in the files. For example, we had Launch that was supposed to come in sometime during BO6's life cycle. Yemen was also supposed to come in during the life cycle at some point. And then there may have been a couple of other maps that I'm forgetting about. But Yemen was confirmed to be saved for BO7. Launch, at the moment, I have no idea. Could potentially be saved for BO7 as well, or it could be one of the maps that we get available on the first day. But there's definitely going to be some new and originals other than the reskins. Now, the next thing is for Warzone. So Warzone did actually get some leaks. The first one is Rebirth Night Resurgence is going to be returning. So this was last available in Cold War. Every single year that Rebirth Island has been available, it's gotten a variation. So last year we didn't get Night, but we ended up getting Purgatory, where the skybox was different. It had like floating creatures. There was also massive changes to the way that the map looked, the color correction, the grading, all of that was completely updated. They also added things like loot boxes, jump scares, and the different types of things like field upgrades that they added to just match the theme. And then alongside that, there would sometimes spawn in like AI and zombies that you would have to fight and eliminate. So it was like something along those lines. And then they also made it like 1 hour long. So I'm thinking maybe Rebirth Night is going to have some of those variations. I don't think it's going to be as simple as the one with Cold War, but there may be additional other things that are added. I'm hoping maybe there's like a boss fight or something along those lines, but so far nothing like that has leaked. And then the second map update we have is going to be the return of Haunting of Verdansk. So once again, that will also be night variant. There's probably going to be ghosts and things like that all around, jump scares available, Halloween decorations. And my favorite thing a lot of times is whenever they do these map updates, each one has its own Easter egg quest. So there's going to be a form of an Easter egg that you're able to complete during these variations of these maps, and they will reward you with either a camo, a weapon blueprint, or something really nice. And that's something that I'm looking forward to. It lets you want to grind out these maps and complete these Easter egg quests. And then there's also, speaking of Easter eggs and rewards, there's going to be events that are going to be coming in and popping up alongside that. Now, some of them may be exclusive to, say, these maps that require you to jump into Verdansk or something like a Zombie Royale LTM, because chances are they're probably going to bring back something like that. And then complete the challenges and get yourself some rewards. Camos have been available in every single haunting event we've gotten so far, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm thinking there might be an animated camo as a part of these events. Now, other than that, there's also going to be the crossover event. So for example, we may end up seeing an event pass. I know usually that's saved for the reloaded update, but because season 6 doesn't have a reloaded update, there is a chance that they may pick one of these crossover operators. Instead of adding them to the battle pass or to the store, they're going to make a sort of event pass for them. So you'll be able to unlock the operator skin, a bunch of different items. There may be free operators in the free sector, but then in the actual one itself, you're going to have to grind through that out and then unlock and purchase the operator skin itself. So that's a potential. We may see the event pass alongside the battle pass coming in. Maybe a little too money hungry for them in that case. So I hope that they don't do it, but there's a chance that something like that could definitely happen. And then there's going to be other things that are like XP based events and stuff like that. I'm hoping maybe at least 3 events we get within this update, because that's usually what we get, around 3 events. And then the last thing that you can expect is going to be the zombies update side of things. So one thing is we could potentially see the super Easter egg quest. I know a lot of people have been talking about this. They did sort of tease. They didn't give a yes or no answer when devs were asked about it, but last time around, I believe in Cold War, we did end up getting an Easter egg quest, but it was added in the last update. So I'm thinking they're going to do the same thing here this time around, and that's why they didn't introduce it in season 5 and they waited until season 6, and then maybe there's going to be some good rewards and things like that. Some people were hoping for a Richtofen operator skin, others were hoping for a Pack-a-Punch camo. And then alongside all of that, we have the wand. As I talked about earlier, there's a chance that there's going to be a couple of map reskins. For example, we may end up getting like a Liberty Falls makeover. If you guys remember how it was with like the holiday and the Christmas update, where the map would like freeze over, the zombies were wearing the hats and stuff like that. Maybe this time around, it could be something very similar to that, just Halloween themed. They could be wearing pumpkin heads. There could be like whimsical gobblegums and upgrades like that. It could also be in nighttime. That would be pretty cool. So they're probably going to have some map updates like that, maybe even for Reckoning, and we're going to see that happen. And then there's going to be some new LTMs that are also going to be coming in as they usually do. So this is what to expect with this Haunting update. It's going to be the last and final update we have for Black Ops 6, and I personally think it's going to be the best update yet, because so far Haunting hasn't really disappointed us. But what are your thoughts and opinions? Leave them down below. If you guys found the video informative, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys back on the channel again. Peace.